Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JG Show. I'm back in the ring with Rory, but you know us, we're not in the ring anymore. We're at a bar. We're at George and Dragon, where you can get a beer, a good beer, a craft beer for as cheap as 35 RMB on happy hour, as cheap as 15 RMB. Cheers. Good to be back.
Bye.
All right. All right, let's take it away. Jake Paul, Ben Askren. This fight is insane. This is huge. It's getting way too much coverage.
Way too much coverage.
And I need to talk to my boy Rory about it. What's going on?
How big is this fight in terms of like social media? Do you know? How much?
I can't remember Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. being this big.
Really? I mean, that was a pretty big fight. I was what, the sixth biggest
Yes, but you know what is magical about this fight? It's the banter. There's no banter between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. They all respected each other. Everyone's like, no, it's great, but it was famous, but it had a limit. But this Jake Paul and Ben Askren, man, they are tuning each other out. Yeah. And I have to say, Ben Askren is winning.
Did you see the Rocky movie that Ben Askren did?
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
You need to watch the Rocky montage that Ben Askren did. It was fucking hilarious. But I can't actually believe we're doing a whole episode dedicated to the Jake Paul fight.
It's so much noise. Like I have to produce as much as I can about this.
Yeah. Great. So shall we get into it then?
Yeah. So let's go over the card. Obviously, we'll start with the main event. This is how we normally do it. You usually take us through. We'll go main event, co-main event, and go back, right? So main event.
Main event is going to be an 8-round under the boxing rules. 8 rounds at cruiserweight. So they do have to make weight. It will be counted as a professional boxing event.
Okay.
And it will go on the record.
On their records.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So currently, this will be Ben Askren's first official fight under the boxing rules. This will be Jake Paul's third.
And so remembering back, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. was an exhibition fight. Nobody was declared a winner.
For the main event. However, Jake Paul against Nate Robinson, the basketball player, that was an official fight. That was an official fight.
His hand was raised in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So Nate, oh man.
Like we can get into this. The under boxing rules, Jake Paul is 2-0. His first fight was against a YouTuber called AnEsonGib.
AnEsonGib. Yeah, he's a short guy, right? Did a lot of ducking and weaving.
No idea who it is. Anyway, beat that guy, so that's one professional boxing result.
One, okay.
And
what that was even though he was another YouTuber, even though they're both YouTubers.
It was a professional fight. No amateur record.
Has anybody ever talked about how you can do that?
This is my problem with the whole thing. You can't have 2-0 as a professional boxer fighting a YouTuber and an ex-basketball player. That's a disrespect to the sport.
Yeah, I mean, are they just buying their pro cards or their licenses or whatever it's called?
They only have to be licensed by the state that the event's in. And that's it. So, and it's a professional fight.
So as long as the state says you're good to go, you're a pro boxer. This is a pro.
Generally, if you're a boxer, you know about this. You have to go through the amateur rounds first.
Yes, you have to earn your
with your headgear and your stripes, and then you can turn professional to make some money.
Yeah.
But these guys didn't do that. These guys. So now Jake Paul's walking around saying he's undefeated. And he's beat a YouTuber.
There's a grey area and he found it? Motherfucker. He was the first person to do it, guys.
So on boxing paper, it looks like Jake Paul was 2-0 and Ben Askren 0.
Okay.
In reality, Ben Askren was a world champion in Bellator.
Bellator, yeah.
He was a world champion in one championship after 2 fights.
Yes. His record is not to be, you don't joke around.
He was undefeated in WFC, completely. He's a Pan American gold medalist, US national champion gold medalist, gold in the world championships.
What? Really?
For wrestling, yeah.
Pan American champion? Oh, for wrestling.
For wrestling, yeah. For wrestling.
Okay.
He's 2-time silver, 2-time gold, NCAA wrestling, and he's got 2 golds at the big championship for wrestling as well. The big championship.
So he's a big wrestler.
But it's not even just a wrestler. The guy's a high-performing athlete. He's been at the fucking Olympics. He's an Olympian. He didn't win gold.
I don't think many people know this about it. They all know his MMA career when he came into UFC, but as an Olympic, he's an Olympian.
He's an Olympic level competitor.
Like that, that just shuts the room up. When an Olympian walks in as a gold medalist,
he's not a gold medalist.
He isn't a gold medalist.
He didn't win a medal at the Olympics, but he was still fucking invited to the Olympics.
Yes.
He's an Olympian wrestler, and people are saying that Jake Paul's been training boxing and things like this, and that's maybe he's a better striker. You know, in 6 weeks, anyone can look good on the pad. If you've got a basic level of fitness,
I like this point.
And you spend 6 weeks doing nothing but pad work, you can take a 15-second video of anyone. Go and pick someone downstairs in the bar You can make them look good on the pads in 6 weeks. No problem.
No problem.
Never
Yes.
mind, the guy's been doing it for 3 years.
Especially if we get, you know, those different angles and get them all like,
Sweating shit, that hitting the bag.
put in a little bit of, you know, music in there, you know. Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can go in and, because let's be clear, this is not going to be a boxing event. Anyone paying for this, you're not going to see
boxing.
a one-on-one boxing thing. This is going to be a fight under the boxing rules.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is Ben Askren knows exactly what he's getting into. He's a competitor, and he'll find a way to win. He'll be grabbing his head, he'll be roughing him up, he'll be making it look ugly. And you know, when you start getting pulled around like that and dragged around in the second, third, fourth round, Jake Paul's going to be exhausted.
Yes.
More than he's ever felt in his life.
Yeah.
He's never been there before.
Yeah.
Ben Askren does it for a living.
But he does, but not to take sides with Jake Paul at all, because
You love Jake Paul.
he's really inappropriate. I like what he could potentially do for numbers, right? If he somehow saw this video and reposted it, woo, yeah. but he's extremely arrogant, like, and it has gotten him to this point. But he hits really hard.
Says who?
It says Nate Robinson.
Says Nate Robinson.
That's true.
Yeah, to be
He's
fair,
basketball player.
he didn't take Nate Robinson straight out, but Nate Robinson was fighting with his face, but there was no.
Terrible fight. That was terrible. The way he just ran in there.
It wasn't even. It was fun to watch because everyone loves a good knockout, but it was pathetic. It was dangerous. You know what I mean? Those guys should have a headgear on.
Yeah, Nate Robinson, first time ever he's fought, and he doesn't wear headgear.
I sound like a fucking old man, but those guys should have had headgear on.
Yeah. And what ounce gloves were they wearing? Were they like 10 ounce or like was it 10 ounce
I
gloves?
can't remember, but it would
Still
have been professional level gloves. If it was a sanctioned fight, they would have had to.
Yeah, they would have had to go on 10
But
or under.
You can't rate it to that. And that's the thing. Jake Paul's going to be training with who's he training with? Fucking Masvidal.
I think that was just a one-off video.
Just a video, yeah.
Just a one-off video.
Even if he trains with former ex-champions, they're going to be able to watch his feet. Is his feet inside, outside? Is he setting up the hook? Is he setting up the jab? Jake Paul's not going to be fighting a boxer. He's going to be fighting Ben Askren. Ben Askren's not coming to box.
Yeah.
He's coming to win this fight.
So Ben Askren, he's going to go straight forward.
He's going to go straight in. He's going to be making that play. He's going to be throwing punches, covering himself up. The stuff that he's learned how to do.
Yeah.
When did he join Bellator?
What was it? Yeah.
In 2010, he became the Bellator World Champion.
Okay.
So that means he's been at an elite championship level for 11 years.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Very nice. Yeah.
And he's been fighting strikers. He beat Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler. I was about to mention that guy's he's freaking Satan.
If Ben Askren can avoid getting hit by
Robbie Lawler, I think he'll be alright.
He can do it to Ben Askren.
Yeah. So Bellator, that was before ONE FC?
Yeah. So he went from Bellator to ONE in 2010. He moved over to, he defended his belt a few times, then he moved to ONE Championship, and he was the world champion in his second fight.
Okay.
And then he remained there undefeated until he went to the UFC.
Okay.
He was undefeated in the UFC until his last two fights, which was.
So it was Robbie Lawler, was it?
Robbie Lawler he beat.
He beat.
And then he lost to Damian Maia.
Damian Maia, that's right. Damian Maia he couldn't get.
And then obviously Rory Masvidal with the flying knee.
With the flying knee, and that is when he said, "I'm going to retire." Yeah.
He lost 2 times in a row. He says, "I'll retire."
It's so interesting how a guy like him, with such an amazing history in combat sports, as a champion, as a world champion, everything changed with Masvidal in that one kick. And I love Masvidal. Like later we'll be doing, when his upcoming fight against Usman. I really hope he does, just because I like. He's so dynamic. I like characters, right? Usually I like people with a bit of character. But let's be honest, that might have been a little bit lucky.
I've got a lot to say about Masvidal. We'll get into that later.
We'll get into that later. But imagine if Ben Askren didn't go for the takedown at the beginning. Yeah. Imagine if he did just walk back.
I mean, right? Masvidal might have beaten him anyway, but Masvidal, you can't compare Masvidal to Jake Paul, for example. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just don't.
How those two are associating themselves with each other?
It's just through Ben Askren.
It's just because of Ben Askren. Yeah.
Jorge Masvidal wouldn't speak to Jake Paul if it wasn't for Ben Askren.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jorge Masvidal prides himself on being from the streets. That's Miami fucking
so ghetto. Yes.
So ghetto, and then he's sucking up to Jake Paul, the rich kid YouTube stuff.
The rich kid YouTubers.
Masvidal has fallen through every expectation in the last 12 months.
Masvidal needs to get his act together. Clean his shit up. Love you, Masvidal, though, but you know it, right? But yeah, so that's our main event.
To be honest, there's one more interesting thing with the main event. Everyone's hanging on the fact that Ben Askren doesn't have hands. Jake Paul's a better striker. Ben Askren can't touch him. But if we can agree that Jake Paul is not an elite level fighter, Ben Askren has 19 wins and 2 losses in MMA.
Okay.
So those 2 losses in the UFC. From his 19 wins, 6 of them have been by knockout. That's a fact.
Nobody knew that one. I don't.
No one gives a shit.
I've never heard this on any other.
Ben Askren has
music
6 professional MMA wins by knockout. Now, I haven't looked into who those guys were, but it wasn't that far. It wasn't that far away. It was like maybe I think it was 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years ago.
And it was like a knockout punch, maybe a knee.
TKO by punch. And then that's happened.
That's likely on the ground.
Maybe. But I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's been training MMA for most of his adult life. At some point in MMA, at least 30, 40, 50% of the time, you're doing hands, man.
Yes, yeah. He at least knows how to. Maybe, I mean, could he just? You've seen his behavior on social media and at the press conference and everything, right?
He knows.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He knows, like
he doesn't give a flying fuck.
He knows that Jake Paul has got nothing that can go from there. If he doesn't get him by hands, he'll just tie him up and make it a gritty fight.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about cardio and heart and grit,
That's Ben Askren.
oh, it's fucking Ben Askren. There's absolutely
Man, I don't want to get my hopes up so high that he's going to win the fight and then
Ben
somebody
Askren.
gets knocked out. Because it
Ben
breaks my heart.
The whole world's in a pandemic right now, yeah?
Yeah.
If any of you get a paycheck at any point between now and the fight, put all of it on Ben Askren. There's absolutely no chance that Jake Paul can do anything to
Oh man, I've been so disappointed before with fights like this, yeah? It's kind of like, oh my god, okay. Yeah, because Ben, his behavior on social media has been it's been so spot on.
It's
He's
a
such a nice guy.
I mean, like, of course, there's always the puncher's chance. Like if Jake Paul catches him in the chin just right and sets his feet up just right for that one to go, of course he can put him down by like a punch.
How's it going to go? It's going to start. Jake Paul's going to go straight at him.
I don't know if I think he's going to come out and reckon he's a boxer.
Oh,
he's going to start dancing and jabbing and stuff like that. Ben Askren's going to be standing there like, fuck you.
Come here.
And
And he's going to be like, what?
Ben Askren just lets him do his thing, rounds 3, 4, waits for Jake Paul's arse to fall out of his fucking jeans. And he's panting, gasping for breath. You can't simulate a fight in training. Even sparring and things like that, the pressure, fighting,
Agreed.
all that stuff.
100% agree.
You cannot simulate how tired you're going to be in that ring. Jake
That's
Paul
right.
has never felt that before. Ben Askren can just wait for Jake Paul just to fall down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no...
And then he'll come in and just throw like a good solid punch, go back, and then just hold him, one punch, make it dirty.
It's make it dirty. Exactly, it's going to make it dirty until Jake Paul either gives up and takes a knee or gets so exhausted that he'll just collapse. But Ben Askren will use it.
Who would have made the decision to tell Jake Paul? I mean, I don't think Jake Paul made the decision to call out Ben Askren. I think somebody said, "Hey, go for it."
Well, Jake Paul was the kind of guy. He's 20.2 million YouTube followers. He's surrounded by people that tell him he's the best.
That's the problem.
His
There.
big brother's a boxer who's fighting for you. Bear in mind, his big brother is 0 and 1. 0 and 1. You'll be in the gym with guys like Shannon Briggs and training with.
Yeah.
There's a guy's telling him he can do it, he's the best and stuff like that. He's been training for 3 years. Ben
Yes,
Askren.
man.
Ben
Look
Askren.
how hard you hit. Oh my God.
Ben Askren.
Yes. You know what's the funniest thing is when they interview Jake Paul and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the future of boxing," and he's like, "You know what I want to do? I want to get these pro fighters." He never says pro boxers. And I want to fight. And he starts calling out MMA fighters. And everyone's like, why don't you start calling out pro boxers? Like,
I wish Ben Askren would have said that to him when I was watching the press conference. And Jake Paul was like, "Yeah, I'm an elite level boxer, I'm going to be the best," and things like that. Ben Askren should have said, "Why are you fighting me?
yeah, you should fight a pro
You should
boxer.
fight a boxer." Fight a boxer. Any of them.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he doesn't talk about that much. You know Ryan Garcia, right? There's a lot of like...
Did you have an announcement today?
No,
We're going to get off track here.
Yeah, just very quick, right? Because Ryan Garcia, he's obviously Mexican. Canelo is like his big brother, right? And Canelo, the pound for grace, right? And Jake Paul said some shit about Canelo. And then Canelo's last fight, there were 2 guys wearing Jake Paul shirts. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And there was that post-fight interview. He told them to get the fuck out of the ring, right? And then Jake Paul was like, "Hey, why you know?" Because Jake Paul jumps on everything. A little burp in the meat, he jumps on it. He has his opinion, right? And he said, "Yeah," and he said something like, "Yeah, Canelo, you take drugs." He said something like that. And then him, Garcia and Jake Paul, they were okay. But after that, I think Garcia was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he had Ben Askren on his podcast, and he was like, yeah.
Garcia?
Yeah.
Garcia's got a podcast?
Yeah, he's got a podcast. Ryan something, yeah. King Ryan, yeah.
He's supposed to announce something today.
Okay.
I saw something yesterday. It was saying big news coming tomorrow. King Ryan's the future or some shit.
Yeah, I really dig that guy. He's the most influential, let's be honest, pro boxer in the world right now. He actually, as on the pro boxing category, I think he's number 5 in the world for an active sport. He gets engagement with social media. That's why, yeah, Jake Paul's always like tuning him. They're always like going off each other.
They've got those 4 lightweight training and make fight each other. We're going to go way off track here.
All right, should we go through the rest of the card?
Yeah. So
it's pretty.
Right. Well, we've got a music lineup again.
Oh my god! Oh yes! Oh, how interesting!
It's actually pretty good.
Is it Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
Can't have a Triller event without Snoop Dogg, and he has to commentate.
We've got Mount Westmore, which is the new supergroup, which is going to be Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Too Short, and E40. Their debut to the world.
That's
going to be on Jake Paul's card.
Oh my god.
Black Keys, they're actually pretty good. We've got Justin Bieber, Diplo,
the Bieber fever. You gotta have Bieber.
Apparently, the whole event from the main card starting to the main card ending is going to be 4 hours. 4 hours from beginning to end. There's only 4 fights on the card.
Okay.
It's going to be 4 hours.
A 4-hour event for four fights. Okay. So that's why I guess Triller's whole promotion strategy is put a lot of music in there, get some rising stars.
They're trying to make it like a show, not just they're trying to like showcase.
It's interesting because I don't know. I don't really like that. I don't like the Super Bowl's okay at halftime. That's kind of a thing.
I don't mind the bigger like one performance to follow the main event.
Yeah.
I like the Super Bowl. Like if you're going to have like.
Maybe just have it one. Like if it keeps cutting off, it's distracting.
Yeah. If you had like.
I don't like
Canelo Mayweather, and then before the main event, Snoop Dogg does one song.
That's it, yeah. Leave it at that. Or they can do their walk-in shit, right? Maybe just have the guys sing as they walk in. Like, and then just leave it alone. Let's all watch the fights, right? If they have 4 fights, what I would do as a promoter and event, somebody who does events myself, I would say, no, get rid of the singers. You guys do your own thing. Maybe like, and then you can get another 4 fights. I would rather watch 4 other people fighting. Even, even pro or not or whatever. Just put the card together, make it full. Because I'm here to watch a fight. Not watching, Doja Cat. Who the fuck's Doja Cat? What is this?
I didn't mention that.
I do not. Probably the entire music list, I'm just like, not for me.
I have no idea.
No idea what
No idea. So, we've got the music throughout the card. But before that, the fight before Jake Paul and Ben Askren is actually a real fight.
Okay.
A legit
the
fight.
co-main events are real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should just co-main. Just the fight before. Someone. Do you remember, I forget how to say his name. Regis Rory, how would you say his name again? I keep seeing his name, I've never heard anyone say it. I don't know.
Oh, Regis.
Yeah, he lost, he was undefeated, and he's only ever lost to Josh Taylor.
Horai? What's his name?
I can't remember how to say it. I've never said it.
Prograz? Probably.
We should know this.
Put it in the comments below, guys. Tell us how to say that, his name.
So
Regis here.
Yeah, so he's undefeated, and he was the WBA Super Lightweight Champion until he lost to the current champion, Josh Taylor.
Okay.
So he's back, and he's fighting a guy called Ivan Redcash.
Ivan.
But I looked at his record, and it's very win-loss.
Okay.
The biggest name that I could see on there is when he lost to Danny Garcia.
Alright.
So it looks like a comeback fight for Regis to get him back on, get him some eyes. But before that, we've got
WBA Super Lightweight Champion. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, at least a semi-pro boxing event.
Yeah, maybe
might see a good show there, right?
Yeah, but a real event to watch before the main event rubbish. Just to go back to the main event, don't expect to see a good fight. Like, this is not going to be a nice fight to watch.
This is going to be very ugly.
It's going to be one of those fights that frustrates you because the referee needs to keep splitting them up because they keep cutting them.
I see.
It's
not going to be like where with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., where we watch the fight and we're like, shit, this is insane. This is really good.
I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
And they're like, pop.
But remember, Jake Paul is not a boxer.
Not like
Askren is not a boxer, so we're not going to see a boxing event.
Yeah. We're going to see like crunching, dig, split, crunching, dig. Yeah.
Just because Ben Askren can't take him to the ground doesn't mean that he can't wrestle.
Can't hold him.
Yeah.
He's just going to hold him.
He can still
push
use
him.
He can still use
push him.
He can turn him, he can fucking drag his head down.
Shit, I'm getting excited about it. It's exciting. I'm excited about it. I want to know what Ben would do in the this situation.
Let me absolutely kill your excitement. But before the first fight on the card is a British millionaire nightclub owner called Joe Fournier, who's facing a Colombian reggae musician called Raycon.
What? I didn't know about this.
That's a real thing.
This is a real thing. This is like white collar boxing.
It's on the poster. They're legit.
What?
It's a legit
It's a
fight.
real. Okay. This is like two white collars. Headgear.
No, I couldn't find any information on it. But that's the thing that's happening. He's on the website and everything. A British millionaire nightclub owner, Joe Fournier, is facing a Colombian reggae musician called Raycon. I don't know what I said.
That's okay. Moving on. No comment on. Yeah, that's it.
This is the name that you know. Frank Mir.
Frank Mir. Yeah, guy snapped that dude in the UFC, right?
He's got a long history in the UFC. He's record 19 wins, 13 losses, but he's a legend. He defeated guys like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was the highest level MMA ground fighter.
Who? Frank Mir?
Back in the day. The highest level heavyweight ground fighter.
Really?
That was kind of like his.
You've watched UFC a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
I'm a Conor McGregor. I just jumped on.
Yeah, it was way back there. I think I met him in Vegas as well. I remember I saw him in Vegas. Yeah.
Seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's really fucking out of shape now though.
Yeah, and I think he was always like that, right?
Towards the end of his UFC career, he was past it, wasn't he? He was just.
Yeah, he was just hanging on there.
He was like, who's still going now? That fucking guy's name, I can't remember his name now.
Heavyweight dude?
Russian guy, heavyweight guy.
The guy that's like 50 something, like 40, the old boy, right? He just refuses to let go. Yeah, he's still good though. He still fights well, that guy. The guy
he's good to watch when he fights with his fucking head.
Yeah. He's in the comments below, you know what we're talking about. You put that in the comments.
You guys can just do this.
Yeah, but Frank Mir, I don't know when he retired, but I guess there was a time
Maybe a couple of years.
Last, yeah.
But anyways, he's going to be, Frank Mir is now fighting under boxing rules for the first time. You wanted to talk about this. This is appalling.
Frank Mir, the deal is you gotta fight. Like, you gotta do boxing. He'd be like,
how do you reckon they get to this? You reckon Frank Mir just goes to the ATM and just goes, and he goes, fuck. Shit.
How did they come up with this?
He's just like, Frank Mir's like, fuck. He calls his agent, he's like, can you get me into the UFC? And he's like, I can do you Jake Paul, Ben Askren.
Yeah, but you have to decide now. And you have to say yes.
You have to do boxing.
You have to do boxing.
So he's going to be fighting Steve Cunningham, who is an actual boxer. He's an actual boxer. His record is similar to that Ivan's win-loss. His official record is 29 wins, 13 losses. And I couldn't see anyone on his record that I recognised. So I guess we'll see what that's like.
And this is a well talked about card, probably just because of the main event. The rest of the fights are pretty.
I mean, we'll see
I mean, it's entertaining. If you got nothing else to do, you can be like, sure, I'll watch it.
So the dates are Saturday the 17th of April, or that'll be Sunday the 18th of April in China. If you're in America, it's $49.99. $50.
$50.
$50 to watch this fucking card.
Do you think they're gonna? What do you think their pay-per-view is gonna be like?
This is going to be interesting because remember we got Tyson Jones, which was an exhibition, but that was not as bad as this. But that was an exhibition, almost like a YouTube.
It's Mike Tyson, him alone.
Mike Tyson, it wasn't.
Fuck it, I'll pay that.
It wasn't watching a social media event.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul was on that card. Yeah. So we'll see
how Jake Paul can hold the.
How can one of these joke cards actually perform on its own without Mike Tyson and Roy Jones? Mike Tyson can sell. Mike Tyson can be on the internet smoking a joint and people will buy it. Yeah. But Jake Paul alone fighting Ben Askren, no one really knows outside of MMA.
Not possible.
We'll see how that actually does. If that does top 10, this is only going to get worse. This is only going to get worse.
This is going to get way worse.
This is what we're paid for. When we all got excited about Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather a year ago, 3 years ago.
That's right.
When we started that shit, this is what
it's our fault.
It's our fault.
It's our fault.
Anyone that bought that, which is everyone.
We are to blame for this nonsense.
For Joe
this is like something I would put on, and I wouldn't even ask for immediate. You would just sell tickets.
This is why you're so excited about this stuff. This is
because this is like white collar boxing. This is like, oh yeah, I want to, what do you guys want to do this Saturday night? Oh, let's go have a nice dinner.
I spoke to Snoop, play the fucking role.
Yeah, it's a total like white collar event. That's the level of it, right?
Yeah.
It's not like something you pay to watch, $50 to watch on TV.
$50 is a real pay-per-view price.
Yeah.
Like the UFC's like, I think it's 50 or 60 now.
Yeah.
So I mean, but anyway, so it's $50 in America, and in the UK it's going to be £17.
So there it is, guys. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul coming up soon. We're gonna see who wins. Our predictions obviously are Ben Askren. We like to hold some kind of normality in these sort of. I just genuinely like Ben Askren as a person, just his behavior in the interviews and everything. I was like, fuck it.
Did you like him before the interviews?
No, but I didn't even know him that much. The only thing I knew about him was that knockout, right? And then I got deeper and deeper into him. He's like talking about his kids and his family. And then the way he's behaving in this whole ruckus. And he's like, dude, I'm getting paid. I want to get in shape. I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, right on.
The biggest question I've got for you is, who do you think is going to win out of the British Millionaire nightclub owner and the
That is where we gotta get serious here. I'll go with the reggaeton.
Yeah.
The musician, yeah.
I'll take the nightclub owner.
He'll be like, "Yo, man, come on, man."
I'll bet you a beer. Guaranteed that a millionaire nightclub owner from the UK is hard as fuck.
It's hard. Against the reggaeton guy. Hey, chill, man. What you doing?
This guy's going to come in fucking ready to go.
Oh god. Oh, I love this. This is so good. All right, everybody, take it easy, and we'll see you for another equally cool episode.